Genuine Cayman is brought to you by Camana Bay, a place where life blossoms, and the Cayman Islands Department of Tourism. Welcome to Cayman Kind.
For me, being a chef isn't just about cooking. It's about sourcing the best local and seasonal ingredients and letting them speak for themselves. Here in Cayman, the quality and variety of local produce is constantly improving. I'm going to show you how to take healthy, tasty food straight from the farm to your table. Even on a Caribbean island, the pace of life can be so frenetic that sometimes we turn to fast food. Not only does fast food have low nutrients, but it also contributes to the ever-growing problem of obesity. Slow food movement was founded in Italy in 1986, encouraging people to eat healthily, sustainably, and local. And now we have slow food here in Grand Cayman. The slow food vision is a world in which all people can access and enjoy food that is good for them, good for those who grow it, and good for the planet. Events such as this one are happening across the globe, in 153 countries. Here at the market at the grounds, local chefs have been paired with local producers to promote the variety of produce available on island. Alan Markoff is the leader of the slow food movement here in Cayman. The obvious question, slow food, why, what is it? Like, what is slow food?
Well, slow food was started to counter the fast food culture. And it's kind of the opposite of everything of fast food. It's about sitting down with good friends and eating good food. As you like to say, you know, good food starts with good food, and the best food is what's grown locally.
For me, I was surprised when I started coming here to Cayman that there was even a slow food movement. So when did that start, and how involved were you with kicking that off?
I actually wasn't involved in the start. That was all to do with Martin Richter of the Grand Old House. He started it back in 1996. It was harder to get local produce. It wasn't really a movement here, but by the time I took it over in 2008, the market at the grounds here had opened, and there was a lot better produce available, and so I really tried to embrace slow food philosophies.
Typically, what would happen for slow food on Grand Cayman?
Well, we do different kinds of events. Like once a year, we have what they call a Terra Madre Day. It's a Slow Food International Day. 90% of every ingredient they use comes from a local source. But in the summertime, it's a little bit more difficult. So we have to be inventive, and we have different events, sometimes at people's houses, sometimes at different restaurants, and we kind of try to spread it around. Any restaurant that tries to support local eating and dining is, you know, a social thing as well. You know, that you want like-minded people sitting around and having fun around a big table. And one of the things that we always do is have large tables. We don't want tables of 2 or 4. We want tables of 6 and 8 and 10, so that people can enjoy the experience of eating.
Chef Sarah.
What's up? Hey, babe, how are you having fun?
Are you working hard?
Yeah, can't you tell? Hardly working.
What are you cooking?
I'm doing the gnocchis, these beautiful gnocchis that I came up with.
Sweet
I didn't come
potato
up with
gnocchi?
them, but
I understand.
Yeah.
And ackee
No,
nage?
it's a Caribbean sweet potato gnocchi, and yeah, an ackee nage.
So what local ingredients are you using for this?
Everything.
What do you mean everything?
Callaloo is local, the tomatoes are local, the boniata is local, the akis are local, everything is local, except for the onions. So I couldn't get any local onions. They
Right,
already grew
right.
onions down here.
This looks beautiful.
But that's Kingston. He's going to start pan-searing our gnocchis for us.
All right. And you got a little tomato sauce here?
Yeah, the tomato, stewed tomatoes with
All right.
lots of onions and garlic and stuff.
And what this is?
That's the nage.
The nage. So where do you get all this stuff?
I get it from this great farmer. He's called Hamlin, and he's right in this location, and all this beautiful produce comes from him.
So I got an idea. Why don't we go to see Hamlin?
Yeah, I think
Check
we
out
should.
the product, and then maybe you can show me how to make this?
Definitely, for sure. I'd love to take it to Hamlin's.
First I gotta taste it though.
Right out.
I'm on my way to Hamlin's farm in Lower Valley with Chef Sarah Mayer. We're going to source some more ingredients for her sweet potato gnocchi, which she'll be cooking for me later. Well, hello there.
Hi, Michael.
How you
Good to
doing,
see
sir?
Good to meet you.
It's so good to be
I've heard a
here.
lot about you.
We're very excited to be.
Good to see you again,
We
Hannah.
did. We're very excited to see what's going on. I want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule.
Well, I'm glad that you were able to meet also, so you can see some of the things we are doing out here.
Let's have a look.
It's gonna be fun.
I know you guys love vine-ripe tomato.
Yeah.
And this is the real vine-ripe tomato.
I see that.
So I'll give you an opportunity to,
Pick one. I see one right
to
there.
reap some.
That looks
You can
good.
have more than one.
Nice.
This is Adonis.
Adonis.
Yes. And I have HA 3060, which is also a nice slicing tomato.
Uh-huh.
But the flavor of them
It's
is so
yummy.
it's so delicious. You
They
know?
look beautiful.
It's completely different from what you have in the supermarket, what they call vine ripe tomato.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
These are the real
We
ones.
They
produce
call
real vine
Vine
ripe
ripe.
tomato.
So this part is all tomato
All tomato.
and all two varieties.
Yes, two varieties
Uh-huh.
in here right now.
And they play nicely together?
Yes.
They
not a
like each
problem.
other.
They like each other.
So, besides all the wonderful tomatoes, I mean,
Yep.
there looks like there's a lot of stuff growing here. What do you got
Yes,
going?
we have pop choy, we have lettuce, we have cabbage, we have callaloo, ackee, sweet potato. We grow numerous things.
So a good mix of sort of a standard crop that I would know it, and more exotic or tropical things that grow better in this
grow
climate.
better in this climate. Well, let's go to the other area and just look now on the callaloo, and the
Callaloo.
sweet potato.
Callaloo and sweet potato.
Sounds good to me.
Ladies first.
You wanna step on the pretty plant?
This is the area, one area of the sweet potatoes.
So
We have
one
three
of
different areas. One of three.
one of three.
One of three.
So that's a lot of
yes.
potatoes.
It's a lot
Yes,
of
but
potatoes.
the demands for sweet potato is very, very high here at our market.
Yeah.
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 So I understand that this is not your first career,
No.
and that you haven't been farming that long. So how long?
Well, in the commercial sense, I've been doing this about 3 years now, approximately 3 years
That's
after
it, huh?
after retirement. You know, originally I grew up on a farm,
Right.
although I quit helping the old man when I was about 16.
Uh-huh.
But originally, and I just loved it.
But you love it, so it's not, I mean, it's physically difficult and it's a lot of labor, right?
Yes.
But it doesn't matter when you love it,
No, if I wasn't love it, I'm honest, I would not be doing
because
it.
it's hard.
I would have developed this land
Yeah.
because this is low density residential.
Yeah.
Do some building and sell them because I'm a contractor.
But it's interesting that you chose not to develop this land, that you work the land, and it would probably be much more valuable as a development.
Yeah.
That to me is what slow food's all about. And
Yeah.
preserving that tradition and that farming tradition, and I think that culture and the heritage of you and your family, and
I would really love to see some young Caymanians get involved in
Yeah.
this because, you know, there's not a lot of money, but there's a future. You can feed yourself and what more. That's the beautiful callaloo.
look at that.
Good.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see how this thing goes.
It's gonna be
Okay,
good, guys.
alright,
It's
let's
gonna be
do it.
good.
Okay, so we're back in the kitchen, and I'm so excited for you to show me this fantastic dish that you did today at Slow Food Day. So we have all these ingredients back here with Sarah. So what do we got? What's going on?
Okay, well, we're gonna start is our ackee sauce, which I love because it's another thing that you can do with ackees other than ackee and sawfish, which is what we use in the Caribbean. Well, the ingredients are the ackee. This is gonna serve about 4 people. I have about a cup of ackee, I have a cup of chicken stock, and about a half a cup of cream. Then I'm gonna add some shallots and garlic as well. The name of the dish is Caribbean sweet potato gnocchi because I really wanna highlight the Caribbean sweet potato, or otherwise known as a boniato. And then we also have a ragu that's made of tomatoes, callaloo, a little bacon and onions,
Uh-huh.
and then it gets topped with the naj, the ackee naj.
Awesome.
My pan is already hot, guys. You want to make sure it's not too hot though, just enough to cook your onions, to sweat them. I'm going to add a little bit of my sliced garlic.
A little bit. That's
Just
a
a
lot.
little, just a little bit. That's
Oh, you're
like
not
a-
adding it all.
No. Because I'm using it for both the naj and the ragu. And then I'm going to cook this until it's nice and, as I said, sweated and, what's the word I'm looking for, Michael?
Translucent.
Thank you.
So it's not many ingredients for the naan.
No.
So the heavy cream, the stock, the shallots, and
That's
the garlic and
Yeah,
ackee.
that's
Tell
it.
me a little bit about ackee. Now, eat it raw and cooked.
I eat it raw. I love it in salads. I eat it raw. I eat it cooked. I make souffles with it. You can eat it as ackee and sawfish.
But what's the problem with there's some sort of if
Okay.
you harvest it and it's not open, or what is that all
Yeah, it comes
about?
in a pod. It's a beautiful pink fuchsia pod. And if it's closed, it's poisonous. And once it opens, you can eat it. But yet still, there's a red vein inside of the ackee right here, if you can see that. Right inside here, it has to be cleaned out.
Right.
Because that's also slightly poisoned. So,
Onion smelling good.
yep, drop my ackee in there. It's a very quick sauce. It doesn't take long. But I really want to highlight the flavor of the ackee, and that's why it doesn't have a lot of ingredients.
Cool.
So I don't really cook the ackees with the onions for very long. I'm just going to hit it with my chicken stock.
Little chicken stock.
Yeah. Now you want to put a bit of chicken stock because once you puree those ackees, it's going to firm up a lot. And you want more of a naj.
Right.
So it can coat the bottom of a
They're a
plate.
little starchy, right?
Yes, they're a little starchy.
Okay.
And then this goes in here like this.
A little bit of heavy cream.
Just a little bit of heavy cream. We'll reserve some for later if we need it.
Okay.
Then you're going to season it with just with a little bit of salt and pepper at the beginning. So that's started now. We're going to turn the flame up a little bit so it comes to a boil. And literally we're going to cook this for like 5 minutes.
Okay, shallots, garlic, oil, ackee,
Ackee.
cream, and a little bit of stock,
Yeah,
salt, and pepper.
that's it. Easy
Let it
peasy.
simmer.
Yeah, easy peasy.
Okay.
Okay, now I wanted to go over the local tomato and callaloo ragu, which we got from Hamlin. These beautiful tomatoes down
Right?
there.
Yep.
Yeah, so you start your pan out with some onions and garlic, sliced garlic, please, and diced onions. You want to put your bacon in at the same time. So, and I cook that very lightly, slowly at a medium heat until it draws out all the sweetness of your onions and garlic, but don't caramelize. Once that is nice and translucent, we're going to add our allspice berries, because you got to make it Jamaican somehow or Caribbean somehow, and we
Right.
love allspice berries.
Allspice berries.
And these I brought straight back from Jamaica.
Wow.
They're very potent, so you don't need a lot of them, just maybe 3 or 4, if that. And then we're gonna hit it with our chicken stock and just let that reduce down very, very slowly and
Excellent.
nicely.
How much heat?
I
And
just
what's
I
going
leave the
on with
scotch
this?
bonnets whole and I just let them cook down slowly because you're gonna cook this ragu
And then
for,
pull it out.
Yeah, because you're gonna cook it for a little while, like for at least half an hour for this amount of ingredients. And then once it's finished, we fold in our already blanched callaloo.
All right, so this has been cleaned and then blanched and then
Yeah.
chopped.
Yeah.
So that all you got to do is sort of stir it into the ragu.
Right at the end, because you don't want it to turn brown.
So good. All right, so how's the ackee sauce?
This is looking good. I think we're ready to puree it now.
So hot liquid in a blender. Try not to fill it up too high, and then always kind of cover it with a wet with a towel to protect yourself.
And make sure it's not on high. The controls are. That's good. And you don't have to blend it for very long because ackee gets very, very soft when it's cooked. Let me see. You might have to season a little salt and pepper.
Oh, look how beautiful that is.
And then we'll season just a little salt, not too much pepper because I don't want the black pepper flakes in there. But you could use white pepper if you wanted to.
So that, to me, looks like soup. Like I could eat this bowl of soup right now.
Yeah.
All right, terrific. So we're gonna take a break, come back, and this is the part I really want to know is how to make the gnocchi. Boniato gnocchi. Fancy words. So we're back, and my favorite, most interesting part, the gnocchi.
The gnocchi.
And so I've only ever made gnocchi with potato.
Yeah.
And this, I guess, is sort of a potato. So the sweet potato or boniato.
Yes, exactly.
All right, let's do
Caribbean
it.
sweet potato. Okay.
So they're roasted in
Roasted.
the oven,
At 425
425,
for about until they're fork tender, which should take about 45 minutes.
fork tender.
Yes.
So you're scooping right into the food processor,
Yes.
right?
Right into the food processor.
So sometimes you would do this with a ricer,
a rice mill.
right?
Yes.
A small little ricer or
Yes.
a small food mill.
Exactly.
And today we're just going to show you how to do it in a food processor.
Yes. But these potatoes, these boniato, they're not overly starchy. They don't get overly starchy if you don't puree them for very long. So it's okay to do it in a food processor, but only until everything comes together. You don't want to work the dough too much.
Because it'll get tough, right?
Exactly.
It'll get gummy.
Exactly,
right?
which
All
is
right.
not going to make a light gnocchi. What I'm adding now is farina, which is double O flour.
Double O flour.
Yes.
Another farina.
Yes.
Okay.
Using that, I prefer it over the all-purpose for this particular recipe. And some beautiful ricotta.
But you could substitute all-purpose.
You could substitute it, yes.
If you're not a fancy.
Exactly. We'll put a little thyme in there to Caribbeanize it, and then a little bit a little bit of Scotch bonnet.
The sweet potato, flour, fancy one or not. Ricotta cheese.
Ricotta cheese.
Salt and pepper.
Salt and pepper.
Fresh
Actually,
thyme.
thanks for reminding me. I forgot my salt and pepper. See, that's why we have them around.
Fresh
here.
thyme and a little bit of Scotch bonnet.
Yeah.
And then if you don't want it spicy, you can omit the Scotch bonnet,
Exactly.
right? But you can't omit the flour or
No,
the ricotta.
or the ricotta.
Or the salt.
Or the salt.
Please.
Or the pepper. Then I'm just going to whiz it together really quickly until it starts forming a dough.
So just till it comes together.
Yeah.
And we're
Which
gonna
it
turn
is
it out
perfect
here.
right now. Yeah, this is perfect.
All right, so that feels pretty good to me,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So then what do you do?
So all we have to do now is cut it.
So you want to cut it in smaller,
Yes.
easier to work with pieces?
Exactly, and keep this covered so it doesn't dry out
Okay,
at all times.
excellent.
I just want to keep that one there.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
all we have to do now is roll it. And you really don't need a lot of flour for your surface. So it holds together pretty well, and then we just cut it, like so.
So
wanna
cut
try?
them into straight pieces,
Yep,
right?
straight
Just like
pieces.
that.
We're not gonna get all fancy and roll them on the back of a fork because that's gonna take way too long.
All right, so you cut them all,
Yes.
and then at this point you would,
You would blanch them or leave them like this.
so at this point you would blanch them in batches.
Exactly.
Just until they float, right?
Just until they float, literally.
So in the water, they float, you take them out, put them in ice water, and then at that point you could keep them, take them out of the ice water,
Yeah.
a little bit of oil.
A little bit of oil, yeah.
then
It
maybe-
depends.
maybe
Depends.
not.
You can also, I didn't
These
put any
don't
oil.
have oil.
No, these don't have any oil at all. And if you wanted to keep them for further use, like in the future, you could freeze them on a cookie sheet individually and then put them in a Ziploc bag.
Okay. Gnocchi are ready. Ackee
Everything.
sauce is ready.
Ackee sauce is ready.
Ragu is done.
Ragu is done.
So we're gonna assemble the dish.
We're gonna assemble this right now. Okay, my pan is getting hot. You could either pan sear them, as I was saying, or you could just blanch them and toss them into your sauce. I like to pan sear my gnocchis because it lightens them up a little bit, I think, and it gives them a nice caramelized flavor.
Right.
Right?
A little bit of color.
Exactly. So at this point now, I'm gonna add my gnocchis. Okay, that's enough. And don't mess with it. Just let it sear nicely for a little bit. I'm gonna season with a little bit of salt and pepper. I like to season my dishes in stages. So
Stages.
Yeah, so it develops the flavors in the dish as opposed to seasoning it once, because that way you might over salt it or not. And I just think it comes out for a better
A little
dish.
bit at a time.
Exactly.
All right.
And these have such beautiful color, and because of the sugar in the boniato, it's going to help caramelize it faster. I'm going to plate my nage because I don't want my nage
So it goes on the plate.
goes on the plate.
And then the ragu looks fantastic.
Doesn't it look good?
Yeah.
Looks yummy. And you can see how the tomatoes have kind of cooked all the way down.
Yeah, some of them are in big chunks.
Yeah.
And some of them are sort of cooked down. I see the garlic.
Very rustic.
Yeah. All right, so a little bit of the callaloo
Yep.
in there, the tomatoes. Oh, that is looking good.
So let it cook for a little while until it heats everything up, and then we'll plate it, and we'll be good. We're good to go. I actually think we're ready. You want a nice mix of the callaloo and the tomatoes.
So that's a perfect portion, would you say,
Yeah.
as a appetizer?
Yeah.
Let's make a couple more plates and sit down.
Sounds good.
Local produced stuff that we have, so there's nothing imported.
All right,
Well,
gentlemen. How you doing?
Great,
Nice,
thank
ready?
you.
Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, the dish and the description of the dish is sort of intimidating. A couple step-by-step things to do, but it wasn't too crazy.
No, but a lot of these dishes in their own countries are comfort food.
Right.
Are simple.
Right.
But for those who are not experienced or don't know them, then it sounds a little complicated.
It's excellent.
So great.
The ackee is great.
Thank
It's a
you.
good sauce.
Sometimes it's best to just slow things down and enjoy a great, simple meal with friends like sweet potato gnocchi, fresh, simple, and pure.
Genuine Cayman is brought to you by Camana Bay, a place where life blossoms, and the Cayman Islands Department of Tourism. Welcome to Cayman Kind.